Greetings, my gentlemen. I am Gent, and welcome back to the Gentleman's Not So Fast! You have My Little Pony and Animaniacs, but Hazbin Hotel is my show. So, my little chaos nibblings, welcome back to the Gentleman's Chat. I'm your host, Rehash, and today we'll be stirring the pot with new Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Let's not waste time and get right into the absolute chaos that is Hazbin Hotel. Fuck you. The season begins as we return to the hellscape that is hell. A month has passed since the incident with the angels, and Charlie and the Hazbin Hotel is more popular than it's ever been before. But as all things, you must take the good with the bad, as the media is trying to spin Charlie to make her look like some sort of evil hell dictator, and that they should trust Vox and trust the media.
We also get to see our first look at the hotel up and running, and it is very busy. Also, it looks like Lucifer's moved in, which I'm sure is a pain in the butt for Alistair. But unfortunately, it looks like it's the least of Alistair's worries.
We then come back to Vaggie, who's running the help desk. We see that she's being swarmed by news reporters at... Jen, what are you doing in this episode? That's not me, that's my cousin Krakow.
Krakow?
Yeah, he died 3 months ago over ketamine. Okay, I'm not even going to touch that. Anyway, so we do get a quick reintroduction to Husk and Angel Dusk, and look at that, Cherry Bomb is here. But when Vaggie asks about where Charlie is, they say that she's up in Serpentius' old room, and she is apparently not having a good day. I suppose a solid enough start, but it doesn't really wow me like the previous episodes have. Maybe it's because they're off their game and they haven't done it in a while, but we'll just have to see where it goes from here. So we cut to Charlie Morningstar, who is currently mourning the passing of Serpentius. Wait, does she not know that he went up? Clearly not. A lot of angels and demons did die in the attack, but she knew Serpentius, and she's connecting her feelings of loss directly to him. Vaggie, being the perfect supporting character girlfriend, tries to say that Charlie should relax and process and let her manage the hotel, but Charlie is in denial about how much she's actually being affected by what transpired.
We then come back to Fox, who is currently throwing a massive temper tantrum because of all the positive press that his team is giving the Hazbin Hotel. And he wants to spin the story to make them look like bad guys while making him look good. So why are they producing positive headlines?
I'm so sorry, sir. You can punish me if you want to.
Ew. No.
What? Oh, that's the voice actor from Blitz doing his best to channel his inner hell of a boss in order to get out of a bad situation. That is not what I'm questioning here. So while Vox deals with sexually harassment by his underling, we cut back to the hotel, or more specifically, Cherry Bomb, as her and Angel Dust are currently processing their feelings when it comes to Serpentius. I mean, the dude self-sacrificed himself just after confessing his love and kissing her on the lips. Of course, it's going to bring up a lot of confusing feelings. You know damn well that she is missing the poor little snake baby, and she can't figure out why he did what he did. Angel Dust does explain, well, you're hot, you're fun, and he was probably attracted to that. Hell, I'm sure Angel Dust was attracted to that. And let's be real, none of us are kicking her out of the bed.
I'm gonna burn all my lucky points on seduction!
Okay, moving on! So Charlie and Vaggie return downstairs and are immediately ambushed by a bunch of news reporters trying to get the scoop on everything going on with the hotel and the Execution Angel invasion. Charlie, of course, gets overwhelmed, and Vaggie does the supportive girlfriend role and says she ordered no pickles. But it's here that Charlie gets introduced to a new character, a guy by the name of Baxter, an associate of Serpentius. Now, I don't want to say he's Serpentious' replacement, but Charlie is using him as a substitute Serpentious.
It's like when your D&D character dies, so you come up with a new character, but it's pretty much almost exactly like the old one with a few tweaks. I mean, he's a bad scientist.
Well, his theory is that redemption doesn't actually work, and so he's here to test his hypothesis like an actual scientist. Which, I'll give him credit, he is trying this whole redemption thing, unlike some of the others around here, and this leads into our opening song. Now, as far as an opening number goes, I gotta say, this one is pretty basic. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just basic. It's just your pretty standard high love, inspirational, motivations, feel-good song that Charlie and the other residents of the hotel have been known for. I don't think it's anything particularly special, though. But then it segues into a villain song, where Vox and the V's take over, as they seduce this poor locust-like girl into their tower, and seduce her with promises of fame, fortune, and everything that comes with it. And after going through a very intense reimagining of her, they turn her into an incredible porn star, but ultimately it rings hollow, as they're clearly giving off cult vibes. And when it became obvious that she's not going to profit them anymore, they cruelly cast her out into the world, but not without letting her know that they want her to recommend them to her friends in order to make more money, showing the corporation of they don't care, they just want to use you until you are no longer useful. Which is a pretty good contrast to Charlie and Vaggy's song, who are trying to genuinely help, while they are only in it for themselves. Sweet redemption versus cruel temptation.
Trust me, trust us. No, I meant to say us.
Okay, so the V's are obviously getting set up as the main antagonists of this season. Okay, I can get behind that. But it feels like every time they're on screen, they feel less and less like actual antagonists and more like Scooby-Doo villains.
Now, no need to be so negative about it. We should trust the process. It's only one episode. Well, while I don't really want to be that guy, technically there were already a full season of build-up on these guys. And even back then I didn't really get too much of a threatening vibe from them, so I'm kind of with Decipher on this one. It is possible to make a more comedic supervillain, but you gotta still make him threatening, and I haven't really been given off too much of a vibe of threatening from these guys. They feel more like Team Rocket than they do actual Giovanni. Well, we cut back to the hotel, where Charlie is still excited about all the new residents. But it quickly dawns on her that they're not here for redemption, they're here for payback. They're here for revenge. They're here to kill some angels for the years of extermination they've been doing, and now they actually have a chance to fight back. And Charlie is their rallying cry. And Nifty is their hero. Obviously, this setup is not what Charlie had in mind, but she doesn't have any time to process it, as she's being persistently ensued by those pesky news reporters and this really unfunny joke about a guy's wife. And she definitely needs some help. Alistair, are you around?
Should I? Perhaps. Will I? No. Do I enjoy being difficult? Most definitely.
Now you see that. That right there is how you do a hilarious but still overly threatening villain.
I'm not entirely convinced that Alistair isn't going to be the big bad of the series. Well, thankfully, Daddy Morningstar is here, who does his fatherly duty and helps Charlie escape the media through ducks.
We later cut back to Vox and the V's as Vox summons the others for an emergency meeting on their behavior in the previous season, telling Velveeta that she needs to not provoke fights with the other overlords, and that Valentino needs to stop hitting angel dust in public. specifically public. He doesn't really care. But after that, he explains their new plan of attack. Specifically, the plan of attack. They want to go and charge the gates of heaven and use the newfound hope that Charlie instilled in order to inspire demons to fight heaven. Yeah, I don't see that plan working out. Okay, I guess we're going to have this talk again. Okay, baby, sweetie, honey, Voxy. How are you going to lead a revolt against heaven if you can't get into heaven? That is like the whole crux of this argument. You can't go up. We have been over this. I have said it many times. You can't get into the dance club if you can't get past the bouncer. Well, we cut back to Lucifer and Charlie as they are in his room in the hotel, shocker, as she's beginning to vent about how frustrating it feels to be the hotel manager at this point in time. But Lucifer understands and even says, yeah, it's pretty understandable that you're a little messed up. Your friend is dead, and everything is going topsy-turvy. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. And then the subject drifts to her mother, his wife, Lilith, and talking about how strong and independent and how practical and awesome she was at handling this sort of situation. And they do share a very tender moment where Lucifer tries to convince Charlie that her mother would be proud of everything she's currently doing. Unfortunately, I don't think the lesson actually sinked in. It's just what she wanted to hear, as Charlie makes another desperate plea to talk to Lilith, but no response.
Wait, didn't we see Lilith at the very end of the episode 8 of the last season?
Yes, we know that she's relaxing in heaven. So why isn't she picking up her daughter's phone? What deal was made? And why is Lilith being a bitch? Well, we do a hard cut back to the gang where Vaggie is going on her unique story arc by trying to come up with a new name for herself, trying to disconnect herself from Adam altogether. And the last bit of it is her name, which he did give her the name Vaggie. But she's having a very, very difficult time deciding what her new name should be. And then Charlie shows up. And she went through some off-screen character development, I guess, as she puts her foot down and asks everybody, politely but firmly, to leave. Unless they're actually wanting to be redeemed. She's not interested in fighting angels. She's not interested in waging war. If you're not there to be redeemed, you're not welcome. And pretty much everybody leaves, as expected.
Well, except for Baxter. Baxter still wants to do his experiment on trying to see if redemption is even possible, which he still doesn't believe, but at the very least he wants to try.
I'm not sure if he wants to try, but he definitely is intrigued by the proposal. So he stays, and they make it very clear he's not replacing Serpentius. Even though he kind of is.
Look, it's okay to say you rolled up a different character but based him off of a previous one. There's nothing wrong with that. Just admit it. We then cut back to the V's, where Vax has just finished explaining his super tremendous ultra hypersonic super chocolatey covered ultimate plan for them to ascend from hell to become gods.
Their plan is doomed to fail.
Any questions?
Okay, but like, I don't get it. Why do we even need to rule heaven? How would we, like, get up there?
Semantics, Val.
No, not semantics. You are blatantly ignoring the question. That is legitimately how are you going to get to heaven? I want an explanation. You have no way of getting up there. You have no idea what you're doing. Yes, you can kill angels all you want, but that does not matter if you can't reach the angels. And your plan is to become gods in heaven? Okay, so even if you do manage to get to heaven, which I doubt, how are you going to take down God? You are a TV, a moth, and a bitch. How are you going to take down God? Are you just Kirito all of a sudden? You're not Kirito!
Well, this segues into the V's having their own little song called Up There.
Love the passion, love the upbeat, love the Broadway-style musical that they're going for. Though, if I have to be honest, I can't help but compare it to another song about a demon or devil trying to escape hell in order to get up. And ironically, it came from South Park. And I have to admit, I think South Park did it better. We then cut back to Charlie and Vaggie, where Vaggie is going off about names that she could potentially call herself, none of which are hitting the right chord, while Charlie finally admits maybe she does need to step back from the hotel, give Vag some more responsibility until she sorts herself out for everything she's going through. From the war and the loss of Serpentius, and the fact that she clearly needs a lot more psychological help than what was previously established. But at least she doesn't have those daddy issues anymore.
And the episode ends with Vox and the news media slandering Charlie, calling her an apologist, and is trying to say that she's some kind of tyrannical dictator that has no interest in the demons at all and just want to suck face with the exterminators.
And of course, making Vox himself look good. You know, Vox is really giving off small dick energy. Anybody else feel that? The absolute abhorrent slander of Charlie does seem to affect her. Must be the Morningstar blood. But Vag says don't worry about it, the news can say whatever they want, the truth will come out eventually. And so, she goes off and grabs Charlie a drink. And then pow! Emily shows up, dumping a whole bunch of exposition, Heaven going into lockdown, Serpentius going to heaven, everything that Charlie was doing was actually correct and right, and she was right, and congratulations, and she had to go immediately, and best of luck, Charlie! Charlie responds in the only appropriate way. And that was Season 2, Episode 1 of Hazbin Hotel's triumphant return, and I love seeing our beautiful hellbound characters again. Unfortunately, the episode was kinda mid.
Yeah, it was kinda mid.
Oh, I know I did not just hear that from someone who watched all 4 or 5 seasons of She-Ra and said that they liked it. Hey, I didn't say I gave it a good score, I just said I liked it. But being mid isn't exactly a bad thing, it just met expectations, it didn't exceed them.
It's like rolling a d20, getting upset that you rolled a 10, but you still passed the score.
It's very easy to give a very positive and overwhelmingly supportive review, but it's just as easily to get an overly negative and critical review. But this one definitely felt like it's more middle of the ground. All my expectations were met, nothing was exceeded. It's almost as if they were going through each plot point that they had to hit, and hit a check mark, and before going on to the next one. Story arcs? Check. Set up a new villain? Check. Give us 2 or 3 songs? Check. And so on and so forth.
Rehash, even you got to admit that even you had problems when they were blatantly ignoring massive plot holes, like the fact that the V's entire plan is contingent on them getting into heaven, which they do not have a way to do.
Okay, yes, I admit that I did have a problem with that, because it's been something I've been stating since Season 1. The whole plot is the fact that hell has no way to get to heaven without the redemption part. The only way to get a sinner into heaven is if they have express permission from the angels to be up there, or if they're redeemed. Vox and the V's are not redeemed.
And what's this about trying to be gods? Are they trying to go against God? Are they trying to fight and kill God? Or are they just trying to become gods? They're not even the biggest fish in hell. Lucifer is. Honestly, I just kind of feel bad for them at this point. They didn't really shake the Scooby-Doo Team Rocket vibe that they were giving off earlier. Yeah, they had some pretty intense scenes, but overall they're kind of idiots.
I suppose when comparisons to Adam, they do seem pretty weak. All things considered, only time will tell how well they'll do as villains once the more episodes show up. But until then, I'm Rehash, the stirrer of chaos, and we will see you all next time.
Hey, wait, I'm the cartoon gent, and I'm Decipher!